What?
What?
What the hell is this?
Harumph. I didn't get a harumph out of that guy.
Give the governor harumph.
Harumph!
You watch your ass.
I see you shiver with anticipation.
Let the show begin.
Hey everybody, this is David Heretic coming at you with another edition of Reactions, Reviews, and Rants. And tonight, okay, I'm gonna assume this is a guy making his debut on the channel tonight. We have Hiromi Uehara. Yes, indeed. How about that? Hiromi Uehara making his debut on the channel.
Forget it, he's rolling.
Before we go any further, for those of you who are feeling inclined to doing all of the clicks and the likes and the bibbidi bop, do me a favor, before you do all that stuff, please watch the whole video first, okay? Give me a chance to actually earn those clicks and likes. Now, after the video's done, if you still feel like doing all those clicks, then by all means, feel free to click away. This comes as a request from Home Gnome, and this is actually Home Gnome's prioritized request for the month of May for being a silver tier member on the Patreon page. So, here you go, Home Gnome. Hope you enjoy the show, man. Home Gnome wanted to see me react to this. It is Hiromi Uehara with a project of his called the Trio Project with a tune called Dancando No Paraiso. Now, have I heard this song before? No, I have not. To the best of my knowledge, this does not resonate with me in any way, shape, or form. However, there's always a possibility I may have heard the song in passing and I just don't realize it. So as always, if I start listening to the song and I suddenly go, wait a second, yeah, I've heard this song before, I'll let you know.
That's the truth.
You know me, I'm gonna be honest with you guys. Let's see, this was posted by Zykopolis TV. Yeah, Zykopolis TV. And the video has 2.1 million views. It'll get you there. Other than that, there's really nothing else left to say. Link to the original video will be down below in the video description for your viewing pleasure at your leisure. Let's get started. What do you say? Are you ready? Are you ready? Because here we go. All right, here we go. Hiromi Uehara, the Trio Project, Dancando No Paraiso, Jazz of Vienna 2011. Well, is this jazz? Okay, we're gonna have some fun then, I have a feeling. Live HD. I was given this. I know it says 1346. We're not doing the whole thing. Hono told me to start at 0, which we're doing, and he told me to stop at 704. So there it is. Obviously, I'm going to do my best to hit that mark, but I think I'm batting about 90% when it comes to that. We'll see how I do today. All right, let's do this.
All right, boy, let's do this.
I love both settings like this. I really do. Wait, so it's not a he, it's a she. Okay. Great touch. Nice. this is cooking. This is cooking. Dug the intro. Great setup. I like it. I like how it kind of lulled people into this false sense of security. When the song actually did kick in, prior to the drums and bass come in, you could already feel the tempo with what she was playing, hitting those heavy accents. Ba, 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 ba. I mean, just the heavy accents, you could feel the tempo. Before bass and drums even kicked in, I got the tempo. That was nice. I like that. She's got great touch. Great touch. Great dynamic control. Great attack control. Great accent control. I mean, she's killing it on the keys, man. She really is. Big shout out to the rhythm section. Wow, nice and tight. The drummer, I love you. I love when drummers use that. I love when people call it jazz grip. It's not jazz grip. It's a classical grip. Really making it work for him. Very relaxed on that left hand. It's loose, man. You could see that stick just not stiff at all. It's just flowing very naturally. I like it. Nice, tasteful cymbal work. Sometimes on the ride, sometimes doing the ride pattern on a crash up high by the bell. I like that. I really like that. Bass player. I love what he's doing with the right hand, moving his positioning on for what the song calls for. Sometimes he's right over the pickups, so get a nice, solid, strong, percussive attack with every single pluck of the string. And other times, when it's a little bit softer, dynamics are a little bit lower, he moves up on the neck and is actually plucking on the neck. That way it takes away that percussiveness from the attack of the song, giving the song a much softer attack for the bass, a more legato feel. I dig it. I absolutely dig it. I love seeing the fact he's playing the 6-string too. I don't know what that is. It starts with a W. It doesn't look like a Warwick body. Doesn't look like a Washburn body either. I wonder what brand of bass that is. And he looks familiar. Like, I feel like I've seen him before, like 30 years ago. Like a much younger version of him. But his face does look familiar. Maybe if I saw a picture of him 30 years ago, maybe I would go, oh, I know who that is. But I feel like I've seen him before somewhere. I just don't know where. Anyway, let's get back into this. I'm digging this, man. I'm really digging this. Oh, listen to that. Listen to that dynamic drop. Listen to that dynamic drop. Nice. I feel like I've seen him before. Kind of looks like Victor Wooten, but not quite. With his thumb? Crash it out. With his thumb. Nice. That's cool. Oh, that was smooth. Smooth transition from hands to sticks. What a great example of rhythmic play. She stayed on the same chord for like 4 measures. No, actually, I think it was about 8 measures. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. It might have been 8 measures. Staying on that same chord the whole time, but her rhythmic pattern was so interesting. It was so intense. I mean, a lot of people go, oh, she's just playing the same chord over and over and over again. You're absolutely right, she is. But did you hear the rhythmic pattern that she had going? It was nice. Really nice. That was very well done. A good example of that. You don't have to be flying all over the keys to be impressive. You can just play a simple chord and have a 16th and 32nd note on and off pattern going on, you know, alternating and laying off, coming back on, laying out, coming back on, just, you know, something like that. And that's interesting. And this is interesting to me. I don't know about everybody else, but that's very interesting to me. I dig it. I think it's cool. We're 4:40 in. It doesn't feel like it. It feels like we're about 3 minutes in. This is flying. I'm not 100% sure. I think the bass player might have messed up. You can see it on his face a little bit. He stopped playing and went, They came back. Maybe he was just taking a break. That's very possible. Maybe it's just like, whoo, my hand, and then went back into it. But I don't know, man. I can't imagine his hands getting that tired. He looks like he's been playing for a while. I think he messed up. But that's one of the beautiful things about jazz, man. When you mess up, you won't be able to tell. From an audio standpoint, you won't be able to tell. The only way people know that you messed up in jazz is if you show it. Like, you get that look on your face like, oh, man. Then people know you messed up. But jazz is so fluid. Jazz is so based around a lot around improvisation that you can't tell, especially when it comes to bass players. Like when we're doing walking bass lines, as long as we're playing and walking in the correct key, we can play pretty much whatever we want. As long as we're playing with the proper accidentals, we're playing with the proper sharps or the proper flats, usually flats. It doesn't really matter. It honestly doesn't matter. But I just want you to watch his face. See if you see what I see. It looks like he messed with me and went, and then he came back in just like nothing happened. So let's see if you see what I see. You see what I mean? It looks like he messed up. That's okay. It still sounds good. And he came right back in again. So nice. The drummer and the piano player are locked in rhythmically, and they were right with each other. And I'm sitting there going, how are they going to come out of this? How are they going to come out of this? Because he's got this fill. He's filling basically, but following the same rhythmic pattern as she is. You know, the eighth notes just 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. I'm sitting there going, how's he going to come out of this? Seriously, how are they gonna, all together come out and downbeat a 1? Are they going to nail it? And they did. They absolutely did. Nice job. Some of my favorite things into her solo right there. Oh, no, 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 no. I gotta hear that again and see if I'm right. It sounds like she got some of my favorite things, the song, the musical number. I feel like she worked that into her solo. Get out of town if she did that. Stop! She worked it in. I love jazz, man. I do. This is one of the reasons why you never know what to expect during the course of a song, especially when the song is featuring a musician, whether it be a keyboard player, a piano player, a sax player, a guitar player, trumpet player, whatever the case. You never know what to expect. There's no denying that was some of my favorite things, man. That was so slick. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Making that B string rattle. Look at him strumming. With that triplet hammering. Oh, we're almost done. 7:04. Nailed it. Wow. I am so glad. It felt like a finale. When she went to the hammering with her fists on that triplet, boom! I was like, that feels final. That feels like a finality right there. So I looked at the time. Sure enough, we were only like 6 seconds away. Okay. Whoo! What a ride! What a ride! Wow! Okay.
Don't wrap me up yet, buddy. Woo! 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 Woo!
That was fun. That was a lot of fun. Wait a minute. Nice to have Gordon Ramsay in the audience. That's always a good thing. Yeah, right here. Hi, Gordon. No, that was fun. That was a blast, man. That song was cooking. Let me get my thoughts together. I'll see you in the review, and we'll talk about it. Well, there you go, folks. That was Hiromi Uehara with the Trio project with a tune called Dancando No Paraiso. This was a request from Home Gnome, and this was actually Home Gnome's prioritized request for the month of May for being a Silver Tier member on the Patreon page. So there you go, Home Gnome. Hope you enjoyed the show. Before we go any further, go ahead. I deserve this. Hit me with corrections and retractions. Go ahead.
Corrections and retractions.
Yeah, I made a big mistake at the beginning. I said making his debut. I wasn't sure. I rolled the dice, and as it turns out, I crapped out. So I need to correct that. Making her debut on the channel tonight.
Tonight.
That was Hiromi Uehara. Yes, okay. So I felt bad, and I felt like I really needed to take that back and correct myself. So yes, there it is.
And that, my friends, is called integrity.
I don't think it's any mystery or any shock that when I say that I enjoyed this. I absolutely did, man. I loved this. And the reason I loved it, there's a lot of nostalgia in this for me. I love playing jazz. I do. And I've played in big bands, 22, 23 member big bands. And I played in jazz combos. I played in trios, quartets, quintets. And I'm going to be straight up with you guys. Don't get me wrong. I love playing in big bands. I do. I enjoy playing big bands. But I gotta be honest with you, I personally have more fun when the group is small. Like, I wouldn't go any higher than like a sextuplet. I think that would be about all I would want to do is a sextuplet with 6 people. I've done that and it was fun. 5 people is fun. 4 and 3 is where I really have the most fun. Because it's a little more intimate and we can all look at each other and, we'll be playing and one of us does something really cool and we all kind of nod to it and go, yeah, that was nice. All right, now watch this. And we try to outdo each other and it's fun. So seeing a jazz trio like this, just having fun, man. You could see it on their faces. They were having a blast and they're watching each other and, playing and they're trying to anticipate what the other one's gonna do and follow along, and it's fun, man. It's so much fun. And they definitely were having a good time up there. You could see it. So as a result, I ended up having fun because it was a lot of fun to watch and it was a lot of fun to listen. Now, that's just how I personally feel. Okay, now looking at this objectively, how did it go for me? Well, I'm gonna tell you right now. On a scale of 1 to 10, I'm going to give that an 8.8. Yep, 8.8. I feel good about that score. Let me tell you why.
Why?
First things first, what does an 8.8 mean? Well, an 8.8 would translate to a great scale rating. Not pretty good, not really good, great. And it's up there on the greats to boot. You also get 4 to 5 stars, and you'll be getting A letter grade, not a B plus, not an A minus, an A solid A letter grade. So there you go, 8.8, great scale rating, 4 to 5 stars, and an A letter grade. Now, how did I come up with this score? Oh, Nelly! So glad you asked. First things first, right out the gate, 7 minutes and 4 seconds. It did not feel like that. It did not feel like 7 minutes. That felt like 5. The time didn't just fly by on this. No, the time streaked by. I mean, it was, I'm not kidding, man. I remember the first, and not the first time, the second time I paused, and I looked at it, and it said 4.5. I'm like, what? 4.5? I thought we were at the 3-minute mark. Nah, the time flew on this. I was having so much fun. I was so engaged. I was so interested. I was so entertained by what I was hearing and by what I was seeing. I can't explain it. I mean, I really can't explain it. When I have a time, when I have a long song that goes by and it feels like, okay, let's say it's like a 6-minute song and it feels like 5 minutes have gone by. That's great. I mean, that's impressive. It is. You knocked an entire minute off of a song. That's fantastic. When you have a 7-minute long song that knocks 2 minutes off the feel, that's really impressive to me. Wow. So that alone right there is pretty impressive. The song, from a quote-unquote songwriting standpoint. Now listen, I'm sure there was a chordal pattern there. I'm sure there was. Because there was a number of times where the bassist and the piano player came together and they played in unison. So I'm sure there was a road map. But I'm also sure that a lot of that road map was slash marks. I'm sure a lot of it was. What I mean by that is the bass player's sheet music, it'll say F sharp or, B major 7 or whatever, and there will be slashes. And the number of slashes will dictate what you're playing. Quarter notes, if you have 4, it's quarter notes. If you have 8, or sometimes they'll put a slash with a slash through it like a plus sign, but angled. Sometimes they'll do that, and that's an 8th note too. If there's 8 slashes, it's 8 notes, whatever the case may be, and you walk and improvise in that key that says over the measure. So I'm sure his sheet music said a lot of improvisation, because I'm sure she was improvising a ton as well. And the drummer was just basically said, here's the feel, here's the time, have fun with it. I'm sure they worked out places where they're gonna play in unison. I'm sure that was worked out. I'm sure that was planned. But you'd be amazed how often sometimes they'll be just walking along and they lock eyes and they go, we're gonna do this. And the drummer will, follow along with what the piano player, because the piano player is the leader here. She'll start doing a rhythmic pattern, a solid rhythmic pattern that's like, a measure or 2 long, and repeat it, and the drummer will catch on. Next thing you know, he's following the rhythmic pattern too. Bass player looks around and goes, I should probably follow along, and he starts following along too. Next thing you know, after 4 or 5 measures, all playing in unison, rhythmically. Maybe not notationally, but rhythmically, they're all on the same page. That really comes down to communication and comfort and familiarity. You get that after playing with people for a long time, especially when you play with the same, like as a bass player, when you play with the same drummer for years, you will start to anticipate each other. You'll start to be able to guess what each other is feeling, what each other is thinking, and what each other are gonna do. My good friend Richie, I've been playing with him, good Lord, over 2 decades. And I can tell you right now, I love playing with him because even when we don't play together for like a year or 2, we'll come back together and we'll play together, and it's like nothing ever happened. We never split. We've been playing together the whole time, and he can read me, I can read him, and we can start to anticipate what each other are gonna do. And that's always a good thing, because that leads to a very solid rhythm section, which this rhythm section clearly was. Now this rhythm section was tight. They were playing together. They were locked in with each other, reading off each other, playing off each other, and it was fun times. The drummer, great technique. The left hand, playing with that classic style, that inverted style. I like that. Very loose in the wrist, very loose in the fingers. It was just like liquid, man. It was nice. The cymbal work he had going on, I never felt like his cymbals took over. I know he was active on the cymbals, and there were some times where he got super active, and majority of the fill that he would be doing would be cymbal work, but I never felt like his cymbal work dominated, and a large part of that is due to the fact that he had great dynamic control. He wasn't wailing on those cymbals as hard as he possibly could. He was playing with feel, he was playing with sensitivity, he was playing with good dynamic control, good attack control, knowing when to shift. Like if you're on the ride, depending, the ride, man, people underestimate ride cymbals. They really do. There's a lot of different tones you can get on a ride, depending on how far or close you get to the bell. You get farther away, you're gonna get a deeper resonating ping. You get close to the bell, you're gonna get a more high-pitched tight ping. And there's all realms in between. It's not just 2 or 3. There are literally dozens, if not hundreds of different, depending on the size of your ride, there are dozens to possibly hundreds of different tones you can get up and down that ride. Great ride control, and he didn't just stay on the ride. Sometimes he would take the ride pattern and switch it over to a crash. Lightly on the crash, very lightly, elbow up and just tinging on it just ever so slightly to give it a ring feel, a ride feel, but with a crash thin sound. Really nice, really nice. I loved it when he switched, went from sticks, went to hands. That was nice. And when he went back to sticks, he never missed a beat. Playing with the hands, picked up one stick, playing with the stick and the hand, picked up the other stick, and boom, he was off and running to the races again with both sticks in hand. Very smooth, very, very smooth. Big shout out to that drummer. The bass player, I cannot say enough about him. He looks familiar. If anybody knows who that is, could you please tell me in the comments who that is, because it's gonna drive me nuts. I wanna say Victor Wooten, but I know that's not right. Then again, maybe it is. I haven't seen Victor Wooten in 20 some odd years. So I mean, it's been a while, and I mean, people change over time, so maybe it is him. And I would also like to know who's the manufacturer of the bass that he was playing. It doesn't look like a Warwick, and it definitely doesn't look like a Washburn. Trying to think of other brands that start with W. I can't come to mind, but I'm sure they're out there. If y'all could let me know what it is he's playing, because it sounded nice, might think about picking up one of those. It sounded really good. Use it for jazz or use it for recording. I loved his variation in picking with his right hand. Don't get me wrong, his left hand looked great. It did. It was fluid. It was nice. He was doing everything, man. Only thing he wasn't doing was popping, slapping, and tapping. Everything else he was doing. He was fingering with one finger. He was fingering with all 4 fingers at one point. He was fingering with his thumb, using his thumb and picking the strings like a guitar pick with his thumb. That was cool, man. I've seen it before, but it was nice to see him being done here. I love his hand positioning. When he needed a stronger attack, he would move his hand down over the pickup to give it a more percussive, solid attack, a much stronger attack sound. When the song was a little bit lower, a little more laid back, a little bit softer, he would move his hand up to the neck, onto the neck, and would pluck the strings, finger the strings up on the neck, eliminating that percussive attack and making it a much softer, smoother attack. Very smart. I do the same thing when I play jazz, man. I try to read what's happening with the song, and if I feel it coming down, I'll move my fingers up on the neck too. It makes perfect sense, and I loved seeing him do that. A lot of fun to watch him. I'm still convinced he messed up. I'm still convinced because you saw it right in his face. He hit that note and he was like, ah. But here's the thing. Being a true professional, what did he do? Came right back in like nothing happened. It was a fun moment. I'm not picking on the guy, trust me. I've been there and done that, and I can absolutely relate. It was just fun to see that. It was a nice moment of levity. Her playing, man. Oh, brother. Great touch. Fantastic touch. She really understands dynamic control, attack control, accent control. She is 100% in control with what she does and what she plays, and more importantly, how she plays it. Her speed is up there, like seriously up there. That was a lot of fun to watch, those fingers flying. She also has a really good rhythmic sensibility. Like, she understands that sometimes, and she demonstrated it during the course of her solo, she can just stand on a single chord, just one chord, and rhythmically just absolutely play the hell out of it and make it sound interesting. A lot of people are gonna sit there and go, oh, it's just the same chord over and over again, that's start hard. Try it. Try playing the way that she did with that rhythmic pattern at that speed. Let me know how it works out for you. I'd love to know, because that to me was a lot of fun, and that was really impressive to me. Special side note, I love solos. I love improv solos because you never know what's gonna happen. And when I heard her working some of my favorite things into her solo, I just about lost my mind. I was like, you have got to be kidding me. But I mean, I've seen other musicians work parts of songs into this solo. I've done it. I've absolutely done it when I've done soloing, and I'll work in a piece of music, no one recognizes, or sometimes they do recognize it. I've worked Pop Goes the Weasel into my solos before, and I got a good laugh out of the crowd when I did it. So I mean, it's you never know. You never know. No, she was clean. I love the ending with the triplets, with the just forget the chords, man. Let's just hammer this home. Dun 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 dun, dun with the right hand to finish it strongly, and she stood up when she did it. Like, yeah, that's it. You can clap now, I loved it. I loved everything about this. I think it was a great job. I really do. I thoroughly enjoyed watching this. This was a lot of fun. So that's why I'm giving it the great score of 8.8, and that's where we're gonna stay. So let's wrap everything up here in a nice shiny bow, shall we? We got an 8.8, which is a great scale rating, 4 out of 5 stars, and an A letter grade. Take your pick. I don't care, whichever one of those floats your boat. Final word, final score, I have spoken. Well, that's going to do it for this edition of Reactions, Reviews, and Rants. Hope you all enjoyed the show. Hopefully I was able to entertain you. If I was able to put a smile on your face and brighten your day, I did my job, and I'm so glad I could do it. If you guys feel like joining the fan base, go ahead and click on that button down there. If you guys want to like the video, go ahead and like the video. If you guys want to ring the bell, go ahead and ring the bell. It honestly doesn't make any difference at all to me, but if you guys feel like doing these things, well then by all means, feel free to do so. Well, that's going to do it for tonight, folks. Thank you very much for watching, and as always, this is David Heretic signing off, reminding you to stay fabulous and support each other. Later. Peace.